Hey, morning, y'all. I'm still puffy-eyed. I just kind of rolled out of bed a little bit ago, but wanted to show you what's going on. This is in our Iranian uh, top garden, what we call, but things are looking good. But also, so we had a heat wave, and check out what it looks like here. So what happens in coastal zones? So we're in Santa Cruz Mountains, so we got the Monterey Bay just literally less than 10 miles away as a crow flies. So so basically what happens is we get a heat wave, and then that heat ends up drawing in the fog off the bay. So it's kind of like nature's coastal air conditioner. We get really hot here, and that ends up pulling in the fog for a few days. So now we're dealing with our fogginess, and we've got peak flowers going on. We've been harvesting a lot, but wanted to show you just what the flowers are looking like. And yeah, probably going to be taking some more today. So with that said, going to show you just a few of these cool flowers. Oh, and by the way, our Thai THCV, so our Free the V crossed with my favorite Thai. It's kind of a chunkier Thai. I want to show you those plants too, and the Brazil. So the Brazil Amazon crossed with the Iranian. So I'll show you those in a second. But here we go. Flip this around. Looking at some plants. All right, so this, as you can see here, give you a little perspective. That's my thumb. So yeah, these are very big chunker buds going on, very solid. So I'm gonna actually take these today, and let's come in. And yeah, they're covered in morning dew right now. Again, everybody, or not everybody, but there's always someone who feels the need to comment that all the hairs aren't brown, so it's not ready to harvest. And I'll just say this again, many landrace varieties especially, the hairs never go brown because they're constantly looking to get pollinated. And even as the buds like way overdone and past its prime, they'll just keep shooting out hairs. Yeah, because they just have a really strong instinct to get pollinated. So anyway, these are getting, and all the Iranians look different. Some of them do actually kind of brown out a little bit, but this particular plant has just really solid, huge, chunky, hard as rock buds. And yeah, they're not really going brown or anything. Here's an interesting one, just one of those mutant flat stem buds. But now let's start cruising. Hello. Yeah, there's a beautiful Iranian there. And this one's getting a little leaf fade. So let's see. Yeah. All right. And some plants that don't have the super huge, like thick as your wrist buds, those can go a little longer without melting down. But in this coastal climate with all this fog and moisture in the morning, when you start getting into big chunky, and these are Iranian plants from an arid environment. So yeah, you're getting dangerously close to molding if you let them go too long. And by the way, the terps are really nice in like ginseng bubblegum when you take them, you know, when they're still fresh. If you let them go a little longer, a lot of that sort of ginseng spicy sweetness, floral sweetness, actually fades, and then you'll end up with you know, really nice, but it'll be like more earthy, hashy. So when you go late or go long, just know if you really were like intoxicated by your real bright, fruity, perfumey, floral terps, yeah, the good possibility you'll lose those as you go later and later. I can't tell what's dewdrops and trichomes. All right. Now, moving on. So now I'm going to show you the Thai V. And these are, oh man, these are so interesting, so good. So it's a really cartoony, very psychedelic, electric Thai. And the Thai on its own, this particular variety, just kind of, you can sort of feel like you're in cartoon land and everything's silly, and you feel like you have little pogo sticks in your feet. Like it's really hard to actually just walk without sort of skipping. It's just such an elevating effect. And then we're cross that with our Free the V. So you get this really clear, bright, electric, almost like espresso of cannabis effect. But going to show you those plants. And then the Free the V has this really strong cat piss, like really ammonia loud cat pissy thing. It sounds gross, but it's actually, it just wakes you up immediately. So I'm going to show you those plants now. And they're getting close to being ready and really excited. And of course, the Free the V has, I bred in the 18-hour trait. So yeah, we're early September, and it took a Thai that usually doesn't finish till late October, early November, but it's finishing now. So very cool. So I'll show you these. One second. All right, so here we go. Here's the first Thai V plant here. Let me see if I can get the whole plant. Okay, that's what it looks like. Now let's come in on some of these beautiful buds. And again, so this gets really long spears. Now this one's not quite as close to being ready. I'll show you more in a little bit. But yeah, the Thai V really kicks out massive amounts of trichomes too. And the Free the V by itself is about 7-8% THCV to 10% THC, and then a bunch of other cool minor cannabinoids. So yeah, it's like 20, maybe a little over 20% cannabinoids. But then the Thai is usually like 18 to 20% THC. So anyway, we'll see what those numbers turn into. And again, I really don't like this whole number system. For medicinal stuff, when you're going for specific cannabinoids, I think it's really nice and helpful to have lab results and such, but it's kind of like if your grandma's lasagna just tastes really good and you love it and it's like your favorite dish, there's really no need to go lab test it for acid content and things like that to see why it tastes good, and then have that sort of determine your experience and why you like it. It's I think this numbers lab testing stuff has actually altered the way people experience cannabis. And then they might love a particular cannabis variety, and then they go get it lab tested, and they're like, oh, what? It was only 16%, and then all of a sudden they don't think it's that great anymore, which is kind of lame. And by the way, if you're at 16% THC and you think you need to have 30% THC to feel anything, take 2 puffs. 16 plus 16 is 32. Okay, so what you want is a quality effect, and then just take another toke, and then you're there, man. So it's kind of, we've gotten to this point where we're grading like a fine tequila. Like we've come to the point where we think Everclear pure 190 proof alcohol is somehow better than like a fine aged tequila that's 80 proof. You know, it's just, it's kind of stupid. And if you want to get, I don't drink alcohol, but I used to. But if you want to really a little more of a buzz with your tequila, take 2 sips. That's it. And then you're getting a more quality experience. Yeah. Okay, so this is the Thai V. This one's, I think, the furthest along. But look at that. Anyway, this probably has like 4 or 5% THCV. And I'm guessing like maybe 12% THC, but it's a really quality Thai effect. Let's come in maybe just, and I'm moving slow and lingering right now because I'm still waking up. But yeah, look at that. Loaded with THCV, super psychedelic Thai. Let's give a little perspective on the size of the bud. There's my thumb, I'm touching it, so no optic shenanigans here. God, that's gorgeous. And it smells so loud. I'm gonna take a whiff right now. Yeah, it's just a bright, spicy, sort of ammonia, cat pissy, but with tons of herbal spices going on and such, and a little grapey sweetness. Oh, here's another really cool one. So when it finishes out, it's just these huge spears. Oops, hitting the wrong button. Yeah. It's got trichomes. Okay, so these are getting close. I'm guessing today's Friday, so these, we may actually take these like Sunday, maybe give them 2 more days. And the THCV is really mold resistant, so is the Thai. Okay, so anyway, these are not as at risk as the Iranians with mold in this sort of foggy environment. Because Thai is from a moist, humid environment, right? Okay, so what do we have here? This is Brazil Amazon crossed with our Iranian. And the Iranian is a very strong trait. It just kind of dominates everything. So it looks very much like the Iranian. But what's going on here, instead of the Iranian sour ginseng bubblegum terps, we're getting the Amazon like mango pina colada tropical terps. And by the way, the Amazon, Brazil Amazon, has just this really super electric high vibing effect as well. So here's more, and so this is just a right down the middle, like sativa effect, landrace indica. So indica, landrace indicas, by the way, are not couch lock, stupid, like duh weed. They're relaxing, dreamy, and meditative, but not numb and stupid. What do I got here? Brown, okay, I got a brown leaf there, but not molding, but I'm going to pull that brown leaf so it doesn't create any mold. I'll go back to that. Here's one that's got kind of a smaller, thinner bud structure. So anyway, yeah, very much looks like to, but the Brazil, Amazon also, a lot of them have pink pistils. So, okay. Here we go, another beautiful Brazil Iranian. You get the idea. These are all, I'd say these are like, oh, I don't know. Things happen fast or they slow down. So I'd say some of these have maybe like 5 to 7 days to go till I'll be taking them down, but I got to keep monitoring them. Anyway, so that's the Brazil. So this will be like right down the middle, super electric, psychedelic, energizing with the dreamy, relaxing Iranian indica. So anyway, there you go. That's what we wake up to here. And then, yeah, if anyone's ever interested in just the homesteader lifestyle, especially with cannabis, cannabis homesteader lifestyle, highly recommend it. And it's just a cool, at least for me, I just love the lifestyle, the rhythm, the pattern, sort of like living your life in rhythm and the timing of the plants and nature and everything. It's cool. This is an AI free zone. Anyway, have a good day. Bye.